Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Gemini. If Gemini is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, and let's see what these tea leaves have to say. So, the card that I pulled for this reading, every reading I pull a tarot card so that I can kind of get an idea of maybe what the reading might be about, kind of like within the realm of what it might be about. And this card is the Knight of Discs. This has to do with hard work, diligence, the creative spirit, the creative spirit of Mother Earth even. It's related to the earth element, the discs are. So this is somebody who maybe works with their hands, somebody who, has some kind of practical skills, somebody who, is good at figuring out how to get the materials to do something, manage projects, this kind of thing, likes to build. Okay, so I want to look at this one, this right here. I immediately think of Pan, which, kind of makes sense. We're coming up on, at least in the northern hemisphere, the summer solstice in, I think about a week from now when I'm doing this reading. And there's more and more of this kind of, chaotic, unfettered kind of energy during these warmer months. I think that, people kind of, to some degree, look to lose their inhibitions a bit. Maybe, become a little more ripe with life, right? And movement and interacting with one another, getting close in some ways and further away in other ways, and just kind of a tendency towards this unfurling nature. And so I really think that there's kind of this very jovial energy, but I also think that really, even more than that, there's a nature of kind of being in an adventurous configuration, really having the will to set out and embark on new experiences. I feel this kind of this thought of something like a pathfinder or a path maker, clearing the way for others. Really kind of going where, you have not been before, and just really trying to break away from the, normal humdrum, tedious things. But I think that this is also something that is pretty common to you throughout the year. I don't know that it's just the season, but I think that it's very emphasized. And I think that could be, we see this exclamation mark here. And I think that, you just kind of get pretty restless. Now, on the other hand, if you are in the southern hemisphere, I think it's kind of a similar feeling. You going into the darker months, the cooler months, there is a restlessness, almost kind of an anxiety that things are going to be slowing a bit. And maybe you use these months to travel. You know, you might be somebody who likes to, you know, go and socialize, you know, go to events where there's music and, you know, food and drink and these kinds of things. And I think that this is something that will kind of pull you out of the normal things. That being said, now I see what looks kind of like, I want to see it on this side, what looks like a tree, okay, and I see kind of a person over here. It almost kind of looks like they're holding some kind of axe or some kind of device, right? Some kind of yard work device. And I think that, come on, Titi, come over here. I'll hold you. And I think that this really is that you have been tending to seasonal matters. And I think this has to do with things outside, inside, maybe yard work, maybe winterizing the house if you are in the southern hemisphere, you know, some kind of maintenance. And I think that during this time it has, you know, tried your patience here and there. There's been a need for problem solving and some reasoning. And I think that this has to do a lot with that Knight of Discs, okay? Somebody who is able to kind of slow it down, think about what are the steps that need to be taken to do whatever this, you know, kind of maintenance-y job or, you know, cleaning up job, building something. Maybe you're putting together you know, something out for outdoors, renovating parts of the house or, you know, whatever it is. We often try to get these things done when the weather is agreeable. But that doesn't mean that things are always going to go our way, does it? So I feel that there have been moments where you just really wanted to lose it. But you have persevered. And I think that, you know, this is kind of, you seem to be a person that likes projects, which I think is, I think it's an important quality to have if you want to continue to learn and grow in life, is to be somebody who, you don't have to be busy all the time, right? But I think it's important to have interests, have motivations to learn how to do things, have practical skills, but also, you know, just enjoy the tinkering a bit, enjoying the, you know, seeing the, you know, the fruits of your labor, your efforts fulfilled, and you know, it's just, I don't know, it's nice to have things that are of interest, a place to go when you have a little bit of time between. And I think that when we have things to work on with our hands, yes, there's the problem solving, yes, there is the doing, but there's also a good amount of time to be contemplating. I know that when I'm doing things like working in the yard or cleaning the house or, you know, figuring out little odds and ends that need to be fixed, and, you know, I'm thinking about all kinds of things while it's happening. It's usually also some of the times that I have, you know, uninterrupted time. Not always, because I have a toddler, of course. So, but, you know, oftentimes these are set aside for like when her dad can help and watch and stuff, and I can go and do my projects. And so I think, you know, it's good to have these things. And I feel like as I've gotten older, I notice that I gravitate towards people who are also busy with that like to do things. They like to work on things. They have, you know, maybe their main careers or whatever, but they have a lot of other little things that they enjoy doing that they don't have to be good at, but, you know, they still continue to try. So, you know, I think having that kind of energy in your life is important because it keeps you, I think, to some degree motivated as well. Okay, and we have here a bridge, and we have a person kind of walking up on the incline of it. So I feel like this is the beginning of some kind of transit for you. I believe that with, and I'm trying to recall even last week's reading, I don't know, it feels like 1,000 years ago since I did that reading. But I do believe that there's been a lot of happiness. There's been a lot of alignment with creativity, you know, some monetary success. And I think that, you know, you're well on your way to figuring out what this current cycle of your life is all about. I think that there's also been a lot of work to kind of let things pass by, you know, that were from the past, let them go, kind of water under the bridge. And I think that you also are just in a place where you are maybe relating to some new people. This might have to do with some of those kinds of interests that you have. I think, you know, in this time, maybe spending time in some kind of social clubs. You know, there are all kinds of different meetup type of things, or if you were, you know, in a community that has like community education, there are a lot of kind of more casual classes, or I know I've talked about this before. They have like adult field trip kind of things, day trips, and those are always interesting because you're kind of thrown together with other people who have signed up for them. So you don't necessarily know who you're going to see there. If you live in a smaller community, you might know some of the people. But if you're in, you know, a bigger cityscape or suburb or whatever, you might not know the people. And it might be interesting to be in a situation where you are meeting new people that have similar interests to you. And also it's just fun to, it's kind of fun to go on a trip that you don't have to plan, right? You just kind of pay a little fee and you get on a bus and they take you to a museum or wherever, and, you know, you do your thing and then you get back on the bus and you go home. And that's, you know, that's not a terrible way to spend a day, in my opinion. So I think that, you know, there's something to that. I think that there's maybe a desire to have some kind of situation where you can meet other people. Now, will they be long forever relationships and friendships? I don't know. You know, that's up to you. But I do think that there is that definite desire. Now we have this, which is an S. And so I think that somebody with an S name seems to be in an emotional place in your heart. And for some reason I'm looking at this and looking at the S, and I'm seeing also it looks like a hot air balloon. Okay, and I feel like there's almost like a sense of like a youthful kind of what am I trying to say? Somebody who you maybe knew in your youth, who was a person that you could kind of escape reality with. Maybe you played with them. Maybe it was somebody that you went to school with and you hung out, and they were kind of, you know, a safe person to just kind of get away from any of the difficult things that were happening in life. They were somebody who enjoyed maybe make-believe or daydreaming. You could like lie in the grass and talk about things and kind of, you know, drift into these like very creative mind spaces together, and it felt pretty natural and enjoyable. And, you know, I think that I see this, it looks like a dog who's howling, almost like howling at the moon. And I wonder, usually when I see a dog, it makes me think that this is a very loyal friendship. And I don't know, I almost wonder if there is some sense of loss here. Maybe you have not seen them in some years and you've been thinking about them. Maybe, you know, something has happened. They're ill. I don't know, but you know, if they are still in the physical form, alive and well, or alive anyhow, maybe it is a good time to check in with them, to seek them out, and if you are already in contact with them, maybe it is a good time to just spend a day with them. You know, just kind of enjoy each other's presence, find something fun to do. Maybe go on one of those community field trips together. Okay. Now this one's interesting too. It looks like a person dancing, and it definitely makes me think of some kind of like a seasonal festival dance, some kind of you know, like what is it, the Wicker Man kind of thing. Some kind of interesting costuming, sacred kind of form, and it feels like it's something based in nature, which makes sense again with this very earthy elemental tone that we have to this reading. And also, you know, very in relation to the Knight of Discs, who is akin to the Harvester. So I think that this could be either, you know, tending the crops or harvesting the crops, depending on where you're at, again, northern or southern hemisphere. And I think that really what comes to mind when I see, you know, some kind of formation like this is ceremony that accompanies something like the solstice, also in the spring as well, when we're sowing seeds and, you know, and hoping for a good crop that year. But in, you know, the summer, need to continue these kinds of devotions so that we may be blessed with good weather, and growth, and, you know, just in general agreeable circumstances, so everything can be done, so things grow right and grow well and abundantly. And so I think that in a smaller way, if you are not a farmer, which not many of us are really, I think that this is a good time to, kind of implement your own reason to have a ritual, your own kind of ceremony, maybe an altar or a blessing, a special prayer, whatever it is that, makes you feel grounded, gets you into a place of balance and alignment, makes you kind of, remember that although you do the hard work, you are blessed with the abilities, the variables, the tools, so that things may come together and the work may be done and so on. So I think, this is something that I like to mention once in a while when it comes up is, yeah, definitely making your own kind of ritual, ceremony, whatever is, kind of within your wheelhouse or comfort. That's not a terrible thing to kind of do. And let's see. I do see this fish here. And I wonder, are you going to be going fishing? Fishing's been on my mind a lot lately. If you do fish, that's a whole way of life in itself. The life of a fishing person. If you do it for, for work, that's a whole other thing. Or if you're in the ocean fishing, or, in these large lakes and things, but commercial fishing. But then there's also those who have a great passion, and will travel to many places to fish, in different ways, for different species, but ultimately, when I kind of bring it down to kind of the simplest form of the symbol of thinking of a fishing person, is this kind of meditative state. There's a lot of patience involved with going out and getting your catch, not unlike hunting or foraging or gathering. There's a lot of know-how and lots of technique, right? You have to understand what all goes into attracting the kinds of fish that you would like to catch, and where to go and where they're kind of hiding and in those lakes and channels and things. And but the patience, right? There's a great deal of that, and that's why I would, not mind taking on fishing. I think I don't know that I'd care if I caught anything, but it would be a good place to sit in quiet and just kind of be in nature. And so I think that this is just kind of an indicator of seeking, in kind of duality to going out, socializing, having that kind of bacchanalian moments. Also finding moments to kind of, quiet the mind, take your time, be a bit inaccessible to others, and just have some time to yourself, which doesn't sound like a bad thing sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at this. Oh, and I see a nice little flower growing. And so we are in bloom here. And I think that, that makes sense. We have, well, and I'm looking at this one too, as I'm saying that. Maybe I kind of miss this. I see a person here with their arm raised up. And I almost feel like it's up towards this that looks like a little butterfly here. And so I feel like there's this sense of awe of raising the hand up to this beautiful, transformative evolving being of self. This butterfly. And let's see if we can, right there. Okay. And so I think that there's been this great attraction to the self-work and to kind of taking on these different new roles within your life, being kind of like we talked about at the beginning, the pathfinder, kind of as you're growing as a being, finding new avenues to kind of activate, archetypes to activate, and parts of self that maybe have been left uncultivated until now. And so I see that, in this work, in this devotion, in this great love, you are in a state of blooming. And I almost think of, a few months, well, maybe it was a month, 2 months ago, when out in California, there was all the rain, and then there were those gorgeous super blooms happening. And I kind of think that is almost kind of the energy that you have, this vast fields of just beautiful, bright flowers, and abundance of love and joy and peace, gratitude, all of those wonderful things, creativity. And so I want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. I cannot tell you just, what a joy it has been to be able to start doing readings and building this little channel we have here and the community that is emerging from it. And so if you would be so kind as to like the video, it is helping us get into the algorithm, and we are growing. If you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that too. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos come out. Other than that, if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read every single one of them. I try to get back to them as quickly as I can. And I do appreciate all of them. The love, the insights, sharing of your stories and your joys, your pains, all of it. It is quite an honor for me. Okay, I want to thank you again, and we will talk again very soon, in 7 days actually. So thank you, Gemini.